right, we'll see how this works. If anybody's here and anybody sees me, let me know because there's something weird going on with Windows and the camera app. I think they did some kind of upgrade, and the camera app ain't been right since. I have done some stuff on Facebook, live stuff. Or no, well, not live stuff, but like uh, video call, which is basically a live thing, and it worked. And I could use the camera through Facebook because you're using the Facebook app to operate your camera. My camera's got everything it needs in there. I can go into settings and it pops up. But when you try and use the Windows 10 camera app, it gives a code this long and it says, we don't know what this code means. Dumb computer, if you ask me. Anyways, I hadn't planned to do any videos actually today. I was feeling very rough, man. And a little while back, had them heart palpitations hit so hard I was it's almost like orbiting, you know, like freaking Adronis or something, man. It's, oh God. But anybody who has no idea of the heart palpitation thing, I mean, it can be looked into. But actually, I'm probably a good source to ask about. Somebody was talking to me about it earlier because I said something, and they said what it was, and I said I know. It's about 15 years into this. I discovered it way back then, and I thought, in all honesty, it was from when I was younger and used to work a lot in ephedra. I thought maybe, you know, with that mini thins, the ephedra stuff they had out a lot back then. I thought maybe abusing that as when I was younger caused some kind of heart thing. And it never harmed me. I could get it, you know, sometimes kick back in rhythm, so I didn't bother with it. Years went down the road. I started seeing a doctor. Heart stuff runs in the family, so they put me on a monitor, had me go home. They said, you were having heart palpitations. And I said, I know. That happens sometimes. And, you know, they start talking to me about it and stuff. And I'm like, look, man, it happens at rest. This does not happen when I'm being stressed. So, you know, they put me in, they gave me a stress test. They put me in the machine. It was like the big thing that goes around you, you know, sticks the dye in you and all that shit. It said, heart's healthy. So they stick me on the treadmill, and I said, "Well, I'll warn you right offhand, because back then, you know, I was still doing pretty decent at being able to keep a little more work done as far as exercising my body." And I told them, I said, I started that P90X system, so you might have to crank this thing up, and they did. I was flinging mud all over the place off my shoes. Didn't touch my heart. So, a heart doctor, I guess, had seen enough, and he's like, we can't figure it out. It looks healthy. So, all right, man, just let me out of there. It's going to trip me out because you would think you would have some kind of curiosity as a doctor and a scientist. But that might be when they started figuring this shit out, just like with the DNA strands and all that stuff changing. They might have started figuring it out then. Is this thing even working? Let's see. It shows live. I don't see anybody here. I sent out a bunch of invitations. Of course, that doesn't surprise me. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the video just in case this goes through, because it seems to me that it should, because I'm not using my camera app. I should be using YouTube's system, so it should take. I hope so, because I'm not planning on doing a little quick video with an exact certain point. I'm looking pretty much, I was kind of hoping some people would come in to have a discussion about some of these things that they were all dealing with, and gives, you know, a little bit of inspiration from a guy who felt like, oh God, man, I've been doing great lately. But, you know, this morning was a little weird. But yeah, that heart palpitation thing makes me think they, you know, might have been starting to figure out something back then, or just that he had seen enough weird anomalies to know that, hey, you'll live through it. So I didn't think anything about it. until I went through a reawakening, spiritual reawakening, and that's when I found others like that, which also helped me with the ear thing, because ear doctor told me it's all in your head. No, it's not in my head, dude. You don't understand. The sound is all around. Like a lot of people, the ascension symptoms, the buzzing, the ringing, the different things. I get that too, but it wasn't till here recently, which is great parts of these ascension systems that or ascension symptoms. The things from the ascension that I've learned, and one of them was this sound I've been hearing my whole life, but it's multispatial now, very multispatial. And sometimes I get downloads like everybody else, and it does stuff. But I realized what the sound was that I'm hearing, and it's my macabre, man. And it's like it's so wild to show you what I'm picturing in my head. It's almost like when you see like atoms and nucleuses and different things, how they'll move around. And you have like it's a toroidal thing in and out, but the energies are all around, like individual, but toroidal things all connected together. It's hard to explain, but I can hear them inside me and outside me and around me, my whole entire macabre. Another one of the anomalies doctors couldn't figure out, and I figured out on my own, but it wasn't the heart palpitations. They started out of nowhere. The hearing thing's always been there. My world's never been silent, never. Because I thought about it. I've seen some stuff where people have did things, had incidents happen, like coming to some awakening points when they've done things like DMT, went through shamanistic stuff, mushrooms. So I thought back just to make sure something like that didn't happen to me, because I had did a little bit of experimenting, with the mushrooms and this spiritual nature and that type of stuff years ago. And no, it wasn't an out of nowhere thing. It's always been there. But anyways, yeah, and part of the message I want to give to everybody today, I finally got answers to some questions. I know where I'm from. I knew why I was here. Not the exacts of mission and everything, but there is no real exacts with me, anyways. It's just a certain energy that I'm to spread and anchor, and I do it many ways because, I'm an artist musician kind of guy. I've got my head and hands and everything. Everything interests me, So, I got to some of those realizations and stuff, and it really helped, and I was feeling all right. But then today, it started last night. I said something to a friend. I had a couple people get kind of weird with me. I knew that it wasn't. It's something to do with the energies, and I'm starting to feel that. Not now. I don't want to say give up. I'm really careful trying to find the right words, but losing hope. That's a perfect word, and I'll tell you why here in a second. This is what's neat. Hope in everything that's going on down here. At the point that one of them last Star Wars movies I seen, where they found Luke Skywalker. He had finally had enough of all the bullshit. He went to the middle of nowhere. It's me. Get the dog. Let's go. We got to get the weather to warm up, and I'll probably have to head south. I mean, I could stay up here till next winter, but I'm in Michigan. You want to live in the woods, you better move south. At least the way the planet's oriented right now. These poles flip, who knows where north and south is going to be, but whatever. That's a whole nother story. But it's wild if you really just quit thinking about everything that's going on in your everyday life, planning everything and all this shit. You have to do some of that, of course, but leave enough open to where you can catch messages. You'll get your help. So today, here I am, losing hope. That's it. I don't see the change that we're trying to institute. You know what? Maybe I ought to stick this camera more in the middle or something, because this is starting to bug me out. I'm looking all weird directions. Let's see. Am I staring more center now? Maybe if I move my chair like that. Anyways, so yeah, man, I'm feeling that way. I'm like, why the hell do I even incarnate here if if none of this is helping or anything? So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this guy, and I don't listen to a lot of this shit. My skies have been clear, it was cloudy the other day, but a couple days before that, we had skies like back in the 1980s, real nice and blue. It's beautiful. And I'm listening to it's Matt Rogers. It's somebody that I normally listen to, but I try to balance what I do as far as stuff. And it's a really good channel here. It watches the skies and the chemtrail and all the crazy shit that's going on. And I happened to look out, and them jackasses were chemtrailing. It's not contrails. I know the difference, people. And I live in an area where I'm not real close to the airport, but I'm not too far off from two different airports. Detroit Metro Airport, and then we have a little airport here somewhere in Detroit. So I see planes all the time. I know what the hell a contrail is. Oh crap! I got to watch my wording. I'm on YouTube. I forget this. That is so weird. How can you censor what a person believes? YouTube, stop it. That's ignorant. Leave us alone. My God. I've seen worse stuff on here. You got weirdos and child molesters running around here on YouTube. Clean that shit up. Anyways, back to what I was saying. And I will say the word. This was not a contrail. This was a chemtrail. But then again, they might not censor this because the bots are made to pick up words. So unless somebody's sitting there reading this, then you're not going to really know what I said anyways. As long as I don't put it in the title, I'm probably cool. But none of that matters anyways, because the only thing they're doing is demonetizing people, and you can't demonetize a guy with 36 subscribers. Not to mention, I would not accept monetization. If anybody wanted to monetize me, I would say send me donations. Eggs, chickens, goats, whatever. I don't want no money, and I don't want nothing to do with this system. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Chemtrail. Like a checkerboard, which tells me one thing. I've seen the red and blue Kachinas. I've seen these other planetary systems. I've seen all this stuff in the sky. The halos, you name it. They're hiding shit again. So I go outside, and I'm looking up, and my one cool neighbor's out there. Any other average neighbor. And I'm looking up, I'm like, son of a bitch. He's like, what? And I said, I would tell you. I said, but enough people probably think I'm crazy anyway, so I won't. And I ain't worried about that. But in the neighborhood, it's not. We don't have as many people as probably that direction. But it is amazing what people you can find. Because not too far off from here, I had to go to a Catholic church to get some food when I first moved in here, and stuff was really rough. And I met a really awoke guy that was working at the Catholic church. Tripped me out, man, right here in the hood. But anyways, so my neighbor's out there, and I'm like, well, I tell you, man, chemtrails, I said, trying to hide shit in the sky, and they just gave him a brief synopsis of what's going on. But I didn't get all spiritual or in a direction that might totally freak somebody out. I stayed within the realms of science. Planets, things moving around, they're trying to hide it. And he's like, I go to walk in the house, and he's like, what was that again? And he goes, he said, and then he starts talking to me. He's like, me and my brother was just talking to me about this stuff earlier. So I went into a whole discussion with my neighbor. And here's the great thing, y'all. I went from feeling like no hope to going, oh my fucking God. Oh, excuse my language if anybody doesn't like that. But just remember, these words are just triggers. Yeah, you can get over it. It's just like the politically incorrect thing. We all got to stop getting weird about words. But I will try and be careful with the F word, because that one does, it does tend to trigger a lot of people. And I guess just the way that it sounds, if you say it a certain way, it can seem kind of nasty, just the tone of it. But that right there, gave me hope. Going out there, just looking up. I went to get my dog, bring him in the house, looked up, and I'm like, I'm gonna look in the sky from it, try and see what they're trying to hide today. And my neighbor questions me about that. He calls his brother. So I'm talking to him and his brother, and his brother's going on the internet now, looking up stuff. And yeah, that's what it was. The energy that was just pushed through, with the solstice. And I'm like, I feel it in me. I feel a change in me, but I still don't see it outside. Well, I mean, not outside like internal. I mean, it's hard to describe, because I do live a lot what I call interdimensionally. So stuff does look a little bit different to me, you know, fourth, fifth dimensional kind of inner thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, as far as the people want to change, and then he says that, starts questioning. His brother starts looking up stuff, and that's what I thought. I'm like, holy crap! There's proof of it right there. You know, people changing that fast. So I come in the house. You know, I'm happy. I'm like, I know that to tune out of this world enough and into the divine nature and just be open to it, to be able to catch these tiny messages that are so important to make us feel so good. So I was like, I got it. Cool. That just made my whole day right. So I sit down in this chair, and this, where I sit right now, there's a window. Oh, probably just see one of the neighbors. But that window is right in front of this table that I'm sitting in front of. So I got this 50-inch computer monitor, you know, my other stuff around me, and this window. And I come in here, I sit down, and I see movement. And I glance out the window, and here comes this white truck with this big. It's paint. It's done like a black and white type of thing. Okay, so it's got a word on the side of it, real big. The whole side of the van is plastered with one word done in like a black gray kind of thing, you know, stands out big time on this white van. It slowly drives by my house, and I see HOPE. I jumped up, stared at that van, just drove down the street, and it said hope. That is the kind of shit that I'm telling you is freaking synchronicity. That's the stuff that'll change your day, that'll change your life, your whole perspective. So, no matter what we're going through with this ascension process, you know, and I was having issues earlier. Like, I'm seeing people that's doing really well and stuff in life, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, we all don't, you know. And they're like, and you got to live in that dimension. I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing: if you are in pain because you're on disability, you don't have money, you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't see and feel this stuff as well because the three-dimensional aspects of our life getting in the way. But it's okay to get irritated about that, but not to harp on it, but just to go get irritated and acknowledge that it irritates you, but let it go. Just be like, okay, I acknowledge that it irritates me, but it really shouldn't. There's a reason for shit, and just let it go. Then you get your messages. So even us with having, well, I ain't gonna say us with having the worst times, even those having the worst times, because I have trying times. But I'm gonna tell you what, I've seen a lot of stuff in this world, and even stuff that I haven't seen firsthand that I've seen on film. Whew, there's a lot of people have it rough, man. Always remember that. Somebody's got it more rough than you, you know. As long as you got four walls and everything around you, you're pretty much cool. Even if you are trapped in the middle of west side of Detroit with nothing but brick shingles and blacktop, brick shingles, blacktop, it's everywhere. So all I see is rooftops and houses, a few people here and there. Oh, and don't even go out on the main road 2 streets over. You don't want to go out there. It's a 6-lane road with crazy people driving real fast and garbage blowing down it. It's not really that's, you know, so much that it's trash. It's just you got a lot of storefronts, springtime, dumpsters, and a few homeless people, and before you know it, we've got garbage blown all over our neighborhood. But the cool thing is even though we are in the inner city, my neighbors are man, it's cool. We'll all just like wander out there at the same time, and we'll start cleaning our yards and just wander off into the vacant yards next to us and start cleaning them up too. And this, I tell you what, this city's actually made a comeback. They've got, I see, oh my gosh, I've seen like large tractors out here with like shit, probably Well, they have to be 12-foot mower decks at least, because we ran 8-foot mower decks on a 2-cylinder little lawn tractors. These things are huge. They're big tractors with full encompassed seating areas and such. Man, you hear them come through like mowing the lawns. It's great, because back in the '90s when I was here, man, Detroit fell apart. Led me going to Southern Ohio and then West Virginia for 12 years, which I do miss. But West Virginia, you need to fix around your laws and stuff. You want to get more people back in there. That whole anti-cannabis bullshit is bullshit. And to say that, oh, it's because of Christians. No. I used to buy pot all the time in West Virginia. Who sold it to me? Christian people. Duh. The whole state's full of them. It is one of the biggest belief systems in there. If you were to look at every religion, atheism, and everything, you'll probably find more Christians in West Virginia than any of it. So, don't give me that shit. More than likely, if you're buying your cannabis from somebody, they got a Bible. But anyways, nobody's here talking to me. I'm not sure if this is even going through. This is one of the longest videos I've did. I just wanted to try and have a discussion and let everybody know, man, that no matter what you're feeling, you just got to just find a way. I tell you, one of the best things you can do, and I went through this yesterday. If you start getting that, every little thing is starting to make you kind of tweaky and it aggravates you a little bit or whatever, shut it all down. You need to shut everything down and just don't think, man. Just sit back in a chair, lay in your bed, whatever, and just let go. All these energies have to be incorporated into us. It means your body needs rest. You start getting downloaded information, you need rest. So sometimes we don't rest and we don't realize, because maybe it's the middle of the day. You're not used to going to sleep at the middle of the day, but all these weird frequencies and stuff going off and doing things to you and downloads, and you don't know nothing, you're not on this conscious level realizing it because it's still back here. So you're thinking, man, what the hell? Why am I tired? I'm not going to bed. It's only 3 PM. And then you start getting all irritated and crabby. Well, I'm going to tell you what, if you ain't at work, you don't have to do anything, watch your kids, do anything. And it is 1, 3 PM, whatever it is, and your body says, dude, just don't move. Listen to it. You'll feel better. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Namaste. Much love. Peace be with everybody, and have a wonderful day or evening, whatever it is in your little part of the world. Love you.